Hey guys, welcome to the HZ build episode. This is going to be a start to finish episode showing you guys me turning this from a Kingswood into a GTS Monaro. So I've got flutes on order, I've got stuff already on order which has got to be welded in. Got to get rid of the bonnet scoop. I'm going to be spraying all the interior black with vinyl paint, changing the wheels, doing my blackouts, repainting the car. There's a lot to get done, so this is going to take a few weeks to do it in between me doing my normal work. So hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you like the video, and let's get started. Alright, so as we can see, the bump bar's off, the tail lights are off. I've left the door handles in for now until I'm ready to start actually painting. Got the bonnet scoop off, I've got all of the badging off, front bumper bar, headlight buckets and side lights, grills all out. So pretty much I'm just going to go around, wherever there's a little bit of rust coming through, I'm just going to bare metal it and see what we're working with. Alright, so as you would have seen, I've just gone around and bare metal all the sections where I found a little bit of rust. As you can see, there's a little bit of rust starting to form there, so just going to zap up those holes. Down here on the guard, that's going to get cut out and welded in a little plate. These holes here can all be zapped up on the doors. Down here on the dog leg, that's going to get cut out and re-welded, and same up there, I'm just going to cut that out and re-weld that. If I obviously, well, the original badges went, I'm going to weld up all these holes so I can put the GTS badges on it. Same up here, just a little bit of rust that was just starting to form, so zap them up with a welder. Same on the bottom of the door there, and that front door there, I've obviously got to cut that all out and re-weld another plate in there, and then obviously weld up all these holes for the bonnet. So it's actually not too bad. Could have been worse, could have been better, but it's a good factory car. Like, if you can see down here, you can still see how many times, well, it's pretty much got, where is it? There's a bit of red brown primer, so it's still got the red brown primer under there. And obviously it's been painted once, been primed and painted again, so it's only had one paint job before previously. So I thought I was recording when I was cutting this out, but the camera wasn't on, so my mistake. This is a section that I've just cut out from here. As you can see, the previous owner knew that there was rust there and they've just bogged it up and put filler in it. So yeah, we're cutting this out and doing it correctly. We're going to weld in the panel here. We're going to clean up all this stuff behind, before we start welding. Get a wire wheel in there, clean it all out, get any little bits of like rust or anything starting to form, make sure the second panel behind isn't rusty. And welding a new section. There's a couple little small holes up here. I can just zap them up with a welder and they'll be fine. At least we're getting rid of all of this rusty stuff. So once again, cutting out all the rust. As you can see, that there is actually fiberglass bog. So that rust hole there was all fiberglass bogged. I've cut out, around all the rust. You can, if you had the door off, you can go all the way to the lip and then actually fold an edge onto here. So when I put it on a new panel, you could have made it a little bit bigger, folded around the edge of the actual door itself, the shell, and then welded in from behind. Because this is just going to be a quick, cut out the rust that we can see and weld in a panel. We're just going to do it like this. So we're staying in, 5mm from the edge a little bit, and then just trace this out on a new piece of steel that we can weld in, and then just weld it straight back in, and all the rust is gone. Like I said, on the other side, get rid of all the flaky stuff from in here. Make sure that your skin behind isn't rusty, or you don't have any rust holes that you need to fix from the inside. But this looks okay. We're just going to end up tracing this out and welding in a new panel with everything nice and clean inside. Put some rust converter, some primer, and make sure it's all protected. So far for day one, we've welded in that door section. We've done the guard on this side. Welded in a few of these areas here that had some holes. A few of these other areas are just surface rust, so I don't need to do anything there. Welded in that panel, welded in the holes on there. I didn't actually end up needing to cut it out. So far what's left is we've just got to get the flutes to do the GTS guard flutes, and obviously weld up the hole in the bonnet, which is going to be very time consuming to do something like that, obviously, so we don't have to distort and warp the panel. So yeah, so far so good, day number one. Alright guys, day number two, and we're getting straight back into it. I had some scrap steel that I sat on top here from underneath. I got a textile, traced out the hole. So I've got this here. I ended up marking the top of the line and then on the sides of the lines, so I can make little ridges, and I'll just show you how I've done this. It was actually very easy, very simple. You don't need any, special tools. All I did was my vise here. I sat that in the vise like that. Got a nice hammer and a little chisel like that, and just went along, tapped it a little bit. Got my style line, flipped it over, did the other side of the lines, and that's pretty much it. This here literally took me probably 10-15 minutes to do, and it's probably going to take me a long time to weld it in, so I'll probably just show you the before and after shot. So like I said, that just sits in there like that. I've got my lines in there nicely, and I can start welding that up now. Just thought I'd show you guys that I've just quickly tacked around the hole, and then what I'm going to do is just do a little bit at a time, work my way around, cooling the panel off, that way we don't distort the panel. So let's get welding, and I'll show you when it's all done. So here's a bonnet all welded up. It probably took me about 2 hours to weld everything up. You can see on the sides here, it did start to pull in a little bit, so as I was working it and cooling it down, I was tapping it, making sure that it didn't buckle too much. It's actually pretty good. I'm happy with how it's finished off. It will need a little bit of filler just to finish it off, but it's come out pretty good. Obviously we traced it out, cut out a piece out of the guard, which we got there, cut that all out, and welded the flute on. So it was very quick and easy. I had some measurements already, which I just used to weld these flutes in, and it's come up really good. I'll go to the other side now and quickly show you. All right, so starting off from the top of this line, we come down 55 mil. Then from the edge of the guard here, we come in 170, and then from the top of the line again, we come down 315. And you can see, it's a bit hard to see because I've got yellow tape on yellow paint, but the top of this line here meets up with that there, that's a corner. So where I've got that black texture, that's a corner. And then when we go up here, that's another black corner. So basically what you do is, when you see this panel on now, you should be able to meet the insert of the panel here. Same down here, just got to line it up a little bit better, like that. And then you know, you basically trace out what you've cut out now. So when I take this off, you can see I've traced out a line all the way around, and we're cutting that panel out now to weld this in. Once you get your panel all cut out, you should be able to get your flute here and set it in place. A bit tricky with one hand, but you get the idea, and obviously weld it in. Alright guys, so a quick little update. As you would have seen, the bonnet's all welded up. Welded up all the holes that were around it, and obviously the big hole that was in the center. I've actually welded up the holes in the boot here as well, and I've already drilled out holes that I need for my badge that needs to go on. I've done some rust repairs along this side. I've welded in my flutes. I drilled out the holes for the badge on this side as well. I would like the Monaro badge to be red, but they only had black, so I might have to get other ones or just paint these ones. That badge is on as well. Flute along this side and a rust repair on that door as well. So we're up to the stage where I can actually start doing some filler work now and get it ready for some primer and paint. Alright guys, a little update. Day number 3, I've done all my filler work around the back end here where I had to weld up holes. Along the dog leg there, door, I've got my flutes welded in, and the guard had a little rust section down the bottom, so that's all done. My bonnet's looking nice. The other door that had the rust at the front and a bit of rust in the bottom of the door there, that's all done. The other side guard with a flute. And a few other little spots which had to fix up. So pretty much mask up now and start laying down some primer. So we're all taped up. Got plastic over the whole car except for the panels that we want to prime. We'll mix up the primer now and lay down some primer. cars. All right, so we're at day 4 so far, and this thing's blowing out a fair bit from what I anticipated. When I first bought this car, I was just going to fix up the rust and just paint from like the style line of the doors down, paint the bottom half of the car, and you know, cruise around a bit, enjoy it, and put up for sale and sell it. But this is blowing out, and don't know what the future plans are with this car, but it is a good solid car. So I've sort of gone a bit further than what I anticipated, and I'll show you guys what I'm up to. Yeah, so this is meant to be a closed door respray, and this is where we're up to at the moment. So we've got all the guards off, the nose cone off, all the doors are off. I've already got all my primer stuff on the outside done. These are the guards, nose cone, tub liners in the guards. And the reason why I've gone this far is because some of these this door here, which was on the front left hand side, which had the rust at the front, was pretty rusty, as you can see. So I've ended up cutting some rust out of these doors. These other two weren't really that bad, they were just very small rust spots, but this one here was the worst one. I don't know, this door must have seen a lot of weather, but this door here was pretty bad. So I've cut out all the inner stuff from this door, replaced it. I still got to make all the holes, so drill out those holes before I start painting. But yeah, these doors here are all repaired as well. Like I said, that one door was a really bad one. There's a few other bits of rust that I've obviously found around the car, but they actually weren't really bad. It seems like it's a really good, solid, original car. It's only had one previous paint job, so it's worth spending the time on it. Like I said, I don't know what the plans are with this car, if I'm going to keep it or not, so I may as well just go a little bit further than what I anticipated, do it properly, and never know what happens. I might end up keeping it, put up for sale. If someone wants to pay me the money that I'm going to be asking for it, it's worth me selling it. If not, happy to keep it. So yeah, day 4 so far. I'm going to start blowing the inside of those doors in to get some paint on there so I can hang the doors back on the car, and continue with everything else that needs to be done. So we've stripped out all the interior now. I've started actually masking up what I want to paint, so I need to fix up a crack in the dash up there. I'm going to paint all the dash black. The actual glass is coming out today, so getting the glass removed. That way I can get up inside and paint all the roof lining black. You know, if it was a roof lining that was torn or something, would have just replaced it all, but it's in really good condition, so I'm just going to paint it black along with the rest of the interior. I think eventually I will do the Monaro, the GTS, you know, upholstery, so the seats are going to get reupholstered at some stage. Just want to get these painted so I can get it back in the car. When I get it booked in, I can get it all done, and then I've got all my panels lined up, ready to be sanded and painted. The doors that did have a bit of rust in them have already been painted on the inside, and I'm going to do some stain guard in the back of the guards and stuff like that. But the old boy's coming down today. Dad's coming down to give me a bit of a hand. But yeah, we'll get all finished off very soon, hopefully, and get it back on the road. So getting there with all the vinyl painting, the interior on this car was really good. Now, if this vinyl paint lasts, I might even just leave it like this, because the vinyl on this car was really good, and there's no point changing the interior if it lasts. So we'll see how long it lasts. If it starts peeling and looking like shit, then we'll go and do the GTS interior, I think. But this is looking really nice. What I'll do is I'll set up the camera and I'll show you exactly how I'm doing it. I've got these 2 door trims to do, and I'll run you through how I'm doing this. All right, so I've got these 2 different vinyl paints. Now, this VHT one I found is not as good as this droopy color one, only because the spray tip on this, if I just quickly spray this, I don't know how well you're gonna see it, but see how that squirts out really far? It hasn't got a nice fan to it, where this one here, it sprays out like nice and evenly. So I found that this droopy color one is a lot better than this VHT one, so you can fuck off. Now what I've got here is I've got some Prepsol, some wax and grease remover. I've got a Scotch Brite pad. I'm just going to spray over the panels or whatever you want to spray. Give it a good spray down, and then just go along and give it a good, you know, scuff up, get any grease or any like marks or anything that are on the vinyl off. So I'll just quickly do that. Alright, so we've given this a good scotch up now. We're just going to wipe it down again. Well, we're going to spray it down, wipe any of the grease marks or anything that's stuck on the vinyl off. Give it a good clean. Get into all the little gaps. All your stitching lines. And then once that's done, I've got a blower here and I just quickly blow it down. Once that's all done, you can actually start spraying it. I've got the other one to do, so I'll quickly do that and then I'll start the video again. Alright, so both of these door trims are cleaned. I've wiped them all down. I've already gone along the back and already done the edges. When you're spraying, you always want to start with your edges. Alright guys, so currently we are at day 6 I think. I have been doing a lot of work off camera just because I want to get this thing done. I've got work backing up and I just want to get this thing done and out the way. I hate starting in between jobs, so when I start something I like to finish it. So yeah, just trying to get this done as fast as possible. So sorry I haven't been recording a lot, but I'll show you guys what I'm up to. I've got a shitload of work done and I think you guys will be impressed. Yes, we are in the spray booth and we're ready to start masking up. So obviously all my repair sections wherever I've got primer has all been blocked down, and then I've buzzed over the rest of the panels or, you know, rubbed over them. Whatever needs to be addressed, obviously, so we can start painting. So yeah, everything's pretty much rubbed down. I've got a few little spot primer sections to do when I have it all masked up, but pretty much just going to start masking up at this stage and start painting. The bonnet, I did a few more little repairs on it. Wasn't exactly happy with it, but it looks really nice now. Guards are all done. So everything's in the booth that needs to be painted. Obviously, I'm going to do all the yellow first, and then once the yellow is dry, I'm just going to do direct gloss straight black for all my blackouts. So going to start masking up now and lay some colour down. Alright guys, hopefully you can hear me. Car's all masked up. I laid some wet on wet primer down at some sections that I wanted to lay down on, where I've rubbed through on a few sections. I put some wet on wet on the bonnet. Everything's masked up, got my paint mixed up, so let's get spraying. Alright guys, a little update to finish off day 7. I've done all my blackouts today and I had the car in the booth with the heater on, so it dried really quickly with fast hardener. I've actually started assembling the car and I can see the finished product. So I'm still waiting for parts for carpet and stuff to come in so I can finish off the interior, but we're getting there. Tomorrow we'll be sanding, wet sanding and polishing. Don't know if I'll do much on recording for that. So tomorrow will be wet sand, polishing, and hopefully getting some parts so I can start finishing this thing off, but I'll quickly just flip the camera around and show you guys. So black and yellow, I actually really like it. It actually suits the car a lot, I think. And if I was to actually build a car like this, I would have painted it yellow from the beginning. It's something that I like. I like the black and yellow in these cars, so it suits it for me. I probably shouldn't have done this because it's going to be hard to try and sell it if I do want to sell it. It's one of those things, you start working on a car and you get attached to it. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, from here on out, what I might actually do is I might actually not record anything until the car is done. So next time you see this car, hopefully it will be finished. So yeah, currently day 7, just finishing up. It's like 8 o'clock at night, did another late night to try and get this done and out the way. So day 7 tonight, day 8 tomorrow, we'll be just polishing the car up quickly. And then obviously just tidying up a few little loose ends, waiting for some parts to come in. So it should be like a 9 to 10 day turnaround from start to finish on this job, which yeah, I've been doing a few late nights and it's been a bit of a mission, but we can see the end of the tunnel now, and it's going to be pretty exciting to just jump in the car and enjoy it and start cruising around, and you know, give Dad the key so he can take it and enjoy it as well. So we'll see you when the job is done.